Good evening, everyone. I'd like to pose a question. How many of you tell yourselves or tell others that something is impossible? Getting your child to clean up the room? Impossible. Becoming a doctor, lawyer, president? Impossible. Spending the summer in Boston when you have never really been outside of your city? Impossible. These are the things we tell ourselves, but are they really impossible? I say they are scary and inconceivable, but I say they are possible. I suggest that for many of the things we tell ourselves that are impossible, it is not that we cannot attain them, but rather we lack self-confidence. First and foremost, we cannot equate self-confidence with self-esteem. They are two entirely different things that provide two entirely different outcomes. For example, let's take self away from confidence and esteem. If we were to look up esteem in the dictionary, which apparently I have, it means admiration. If self-esteem is self-admiration, what exactly would I be admiring about myself? Well, honestly, it'd be the reason why I'm here today. As one looks up confidence, you see that it speaks more closely to assurances based on one's ability. Let's take Steve Jobs for an example. Steve Jobs today is known for his technology of the iPhone. But what are his assurances? And it's basically his confidence. Without his confidence, he would have never become the person that we remember of him. Without confidence, Apple would have never been possible. Without confidence, where would he have started his path? I suggest that for many of the things we tell ourselves, in order to conquer the impossible, we must first build upon self-confidence. To achieve the smallest goals and get through life's daily duties and responsibilities, we must have a certain type of confidence. Well, how do we get confidence? First, let's stop for a moment and ask ourselves that question. And then let's rephrase that word into, how do we lose our confidence? Now we start to get flashback. A lot of memories start to come in with short, brief answers. Most of us in our lives have had a moment of insecurities. Right now, how many of you have been insecure in your life? When was the last time you were insecure? Or let's take today as the event. How many of you were running a bit late to the event, trying to find parking because you were just focused on getting here on time? Those are insecurities we really don't think about. The importance of obtaining confidence is mainly to push and pull through the different voices and opinions that tell us yes, no, maybe, do this, and do that. Relying on those negative comments, especially on the people, tend to take our individuality away from us, especially making us feel unsure about ourselves. Society today is driven by other standpoints. We all have common labels where we tend to engage our entire behavior, especially our own lives. We all know some of these particular labels, however, not all of them. Next slide. Next slide. Some of these labels can be positive, such as being the teacher's pet. Next slide. Or being the A student. And some others can be negative. Next slide. Go. Go. Okay. One of them can be people thinking, oh, I'm too ugly. Oh, I'm too fat. Not good enough. Not attractive. My acne. Girls who have long hair and that are straight, wanting curly hair, vice versa. Next slide. And most importantly, our personality. So how do I get rid of these insecurities and become more self-dependent upon myself? Well, the only strength we have in ourselves in the defense against the world is our stamina. We don't need any of these things to become confident of ourselves, especially all those negative comments that come to us. None of these things matter. It doesn't matter what our physical appearance is. It doesn't matter what others tell us who we should become. What really matters is that we become the person we believe we are most secure about. Without those little imperfections of insecurities, we wouldn't define the person that we stand to be here today. Most importantly, the insecurities define the stamina that we have within us. In school, I may look like a perfect girl with her perfect life that gets things done easily. But honestly, I have my own insecurities too. And personally, I know confidence is hard to come by. 2 years ago, I used to be the shy, nervous girl who couldn't take a risk because she was too focused on what the outcome would be. But now I'm not that girl anymore. I actually this summer had the experience to go and take upon an internship at Boston at Babson College. And for those who don't know Babson College, it's one of the world's or nation's #1 top school for business, most focused on entrepreneurship skills. As life has passed by, I have started to peel off that little turtle shell off of my back. With it, I would have never become the person I stand to be here today, nor would I be talking today. But along the way, I have had my family, school faculty, and best friend who have perpetually stood by my side, telling me, Nicole, you can do anything in life, as long as you live to your fullest, give it the best you can, and never give up easily. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. We should rely upon people that make us happy, not that don't care about us, not that leave us hanging on the side, and especially don't ask us to change any aspect of our lives just to please them. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate of ourselves. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond our reach. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us the most. As the saying goes, in order to gain confidence, one must fake it. Fake it till you make it, or what's the reason for the possibility and the impossible? Thank you.